Welcome back to the channel. Today I picked up 2 boxes of quarters. We'll hopefully finish off the woman series and then hopefully find some new quarters. Again, we'll probably look for some really nice older coins back to bicentennials. Well, I keep bicentennials. I'll keep anything that looks superb. I do keep a lot of the really nice states and national parks. Let's see what we got here. I already looked at the bottom side. We'll call this one here. Left side's always. We'll do box 1. Box 2. Not that it matters, but that's a lot of glue. Definitely circulated. 2020, 2009, another 2020, 2019. Yeah. Looks pretty good. That's the one we'll start with. Oh, I just can't. Wow, super glued. Oh, we got a possible scope one here. Couple women's earlier, 2019, couple newer women's quarters, 2023s, (2024). Yep, this would be the second one. Oh wow, that's really nice too. I really don't think that that's a state quarter. You could tell by the Washington. Yep. This one here is kind of fugly looking, but it's probably just worn or polished. Yep. So we'll start with box 1. Grab a bunch and then stage them like we do cents. We'll start with 20 rolls. Good even number. Let's get into it. We'll do a couple opens. We'll do the 20, then we'll do a recap. Kind of see what we got. I'm not real big on super productive, but try to make it fun. Texas is awesome. So we'll stack these as National, wow, scopes, state, women's. And we'll go from there. Well, that's half a box, 25 rules. I got 3 of the 2026s. Got a bunch of the 09s. Couple national parks that I want to keep. Some bicentennials. Some scopes. Well, ones I got to scope. The ones that I typically scope. A couple states. Couple national parks. Then I got a couple really nice state parks that I'm going to keep. Then these are all the women's and 2021s that I got to scope through. Crossing of the Delaware and Tuskegee Airmen. So let's do the other half a box and see what we got. Well, here's the box. I did pull out one 2019 W. Pretty shiny. Really nice. We'll scope that one out later. I got one nice, really nice 1974. Keep a hold of that. Just a few more 2026s. Couple more of the 09s. Couple more national parks. A few more bicentennials. A couple of them are pretty nice. We'll scope those out later too. Here's a row of state and national parks that are definite scope. Here is a row of the states that I really, really like. I'll go back through and check them out again one more time. Then I'll definitely keep them. I'll tube them up and keep them. And then here are all the women's quarters that I want to scope. Didn't see a whole lot of 2025s, but I might have skimmed through them. I just pulled them out. Basically, if it's a state, I flip them and I look for, usually woman quarter. It's 2021, but just judging by the oddverse, I can just automatically keep them because I'm going to scope them all. They all have little die chips. They all have their own little corks. Some on their oddverse, mostly on the reverse. So like I said, I definitely keep those. And then I will tube these up. And then we'll keep a hold of the bicentennials. May keep a couple of the national parks out just to scope them, just to double check. Some of the 09s are worth scoping. Some of them are pretty beat up, but I do keep them. Then obviously the 2026s. I don't think they're really worth scoping. I did see a couple errors, but I'll definitely just tube them up and keep them. Alrighty, we'll get these all cleaned up and we'll start on box 2. Well, that's the second box. Surprisingly, we did find a W. It's a 2019. Pretty nice. And another 2019. So we did get... Oh, and a proof. So we got a proof and a W out of the first one. We got 2 W's out of the second one. So again, we've got a couple nice Washingtons, 2026s, 2009s, national parks, some little drummer boys. These ones here got a scope. These are all the states that are pretty nice. And then that's the other scope pal. So let me get this cleaned up and retubed, and then I'll go through the process of scoping, then I'll show you what I found. Well, a good look at what we got. So we did come across this little gem. '18. We got 2019. W. Pretty nice. Got this 2019. Little faded W. Kind of like milky. And this W. 3 W's in a proof. Not too shabby. Oops. So, error-wise, here's a really nice one that stuck out. West Virginia. It's a 2005 state quarter. Got a little cut on the rim. I've seen them much bigger. And this is known to have that. I do have 1 or 2 more. Last year, perhaps I found them, but that's awesome. That's a distinct find. And we'll do a couple more states. This is the Arizona. You just can start to see the 3rd rock there. It's important. It's a really nice shape one too. Really important to here again. The 3rd rock. It's covering up the initials. It's in fairly good condition. And then here again, the 3rd rock. This one here is a little worn, a little more worn, but those are typical state. We'll get into some. These are always fun. The Homestead 2015. Kind of interesting. I see the little cut on top of the roof there, on top of the window sash. I found snow on the roof on both sides. I found cuds in the corn cob itself. And it's not in too bad a condition. Here's another one. A little more worn. Same cud. I think this particular quarter has quite a few different varieties on it. This one here is a little more worn, but look at that one on the bottom of the bucket. Fairly large. That's the leaky bucket. And I see a lot of these. Get a little chip in the roof. I don't see too many window issues. But then again, I mean, it's what I look for in repetition. Got a little bit on the left one there. I've seen them fairly large before. littler one there. A little spot in the corner. Not too bad. There's a larger one, right corner. Large one right there. A lot of these ones will have progression where they start smaller and you'll see them get bigger and bigger and bigger. Especially if you're getting the same coinage out of the same run. Oh. Got a chip on the end of the racket. And this is probably the third one that I found in circulation. This is 2025. But also, remember, East Coast, we get a lot of the good ones. See the die crack going from her eye socket, hairline, right up to the rim, through the R. I find them in the Dove. That's about the only spots that I see in these ones. That's the only one. Usually I find some more, but here's another one. Top of the hat, right in the crevice there. It's very typical. Yeah, interesting. I knew who she was right away. Oh, there's one in the W. She's the Girl Scout lady. My mom was a Girl Scout leader. My sister was a Girl Scout. I was a Boy Scout. I guess you could say the Boy Scouts are the thing of the past now. It's okay, I'm not angry over it anymore. Again, right up in the corner. That's a typical spot. I don't see them too much anywhere else. Just in the hat. I see so many of them, I kind of dismiss them after a while. Right in the corner. Very typical spot. This one I used to find a lot back in the day. The center of the A's field. Here in Neenah. I've seen a couple of the letters. I've seen some of the flowers damaged. I got one that's got a doubled necklace. You know, these ones also 2022s have the herpes and the, what they call the boogers. I really don't get into the "and God we rust." You know, I still see it. It's faint, but it's still there. So here's another single. I do typically find a lot of these, mostly chips in the cut out of the hope. I find them usually on the left side. Little breakage around there. Or maybe it's starting, it's a crack. This one I used to find a lot of errors in too, but this one was unique. One right in the eye. I haven't found any double fingers, but the 2022s are notorious for those. Like I said, this one here, a very bad, dirty example, but I got probably rolls of these with chips in between the letters, mostly in between the C and the E, and from the E into the N. E to the N. I do find some with the star a little bit not too much in the name. So I'll show you the ones that I did find 2022. It's a dirty example, but it is a 2022. That's a pretty big one. And surprisingly, Sally Ride. I don't find many on this side. It's usually the George side. The reverse usually. On this one in particular, I do have one with the doubled emblem. I have a couple that have a ghost trail. The infamous 2021. I got quite a few of the crowns. These are just small little chips, but I do have a bunch. Haven't found a whole lot of the swords, and then there's a strike through the chest I haven't found. You can see that one there is just starting to chip away. That one there again, you can kind of see the retained chip, retained cud. It's a chip or gunk, mostly chips. I think they're chips. I got so many of them, you can kind of see the progression of the chip. You know, that's the way I look at it. Then we have some of the more defined ones. This one's interesting. I found quite a few chips in the hat. I got a bunch of cracks from the top where my finger's at, down the rim of the hat, and down into the face. There's a couple chips in the scale. I got quite a few of the ones in the lettering. Here's another brim of the hat. The T's been broken. Brim of the hat. The V. This one here's got a little crimper kiss to it. Yeah, see there's the N, the V, and the T. Yeah, it's got a little crimper kiss around it. A little bit. But it's an example. The N, V, and the T. There's another one in the rim of the hat. Yeah, her face never really come out correctly. You know, the proof, the silver proof comes out, but the business strikes are always kind of chewed up a bit. The T. Here's the brim of the hat again. The T. What we have going on the end, the N, is where another coin, you can't really see it, I can't show. The rim being reeded struck it, and that's what leaves that mark when they come off of the press and into the bin. Another rim hat T. That's another one that I find lots and lots and lots of. I get tired of looking at them. T. I got some that the T's just one big blob. It's pretty interesting, I think. Last one on that. Just another chunk on the hat. Little chunks in the forehead. It's probably a kitty hair. Yeah, those are pretty typical. Here's another one that's pretty typical with the words. The K, A, and the N are normally chewed up pretty good. I have found some other big cuds up in this creek area. Perhaps I don't remember why I kept a hold of this one. Let's flip it over. 2023. Oh, maybe I used that as an example too. I still see the I. It's very weak in the T. That could be a N rust. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll send it in. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. I still see it. It'd be weak if anything. The K and the A. Yeah, it's the typicals, the lettering. Very rarely do I see them up in here, but I have. I haven't seen any in the hair, the flowers. I think I got one that has one down here in the hairline. I found years ago. But yeah, mostly in the K and the A. I got a combination of K, A, and the N. That's it for that one. Here's a really good one. For the longest time I looked and looked and looked and couldn't find anything. Then just recently I've been finding cracks down the head. Now a lot of people are going to be like, oh, that's a scratch. But believe me, notice the position. And I also been a little dirty. It's a bad example, but notice the crack. Now this one here is down on this side, from the rim up and through the lettering. It's the only two spots that I've seen. This one here kind of comes down from the rim through the hair in circles. Comes down in the same spot. Comes down, it ends right there. Again, that one comes right up and hits the letter. Very faintly. You can see the rim's cracked on that one, little chip. Very fine line, but it's there. That's how it starts. This one here's a really good one. Q, U, A, and into the R. Right down through the hand and through the rim. Yep, same one. See it? I don't see it cross the rim, but it starts right there at the rim and comes down. Very faint, but it's there. Yeah, this used to be my awesome go-to. This was the design I really liked. I like the open fields everything in the shirt. I really like that. I thought that was the awesome, especially in the proof. I think it looks it looks awesome. So here's another older one. These are typicals too. I get a lot of chips on the plane. I've seen a couple chips in the face. Not much in the lettering though, but you know, it's been a 2023. Don't get many on the George side chip. I got a couple very large chips too in the plane. This one here is unique. Right around the nose. It's kind of weird. And I see it a lot. I see there's another one. And a chip. Wouldn't quite call that doubling. I don't know. It's just the nose. And the chip in the plane. Chip on top of the wing. That's a little dirty, but it's a good example. Another chip on the plane. See there. Chip on top of the plane, pretty big chip there. Last one on that. Doubled lips, a little bit on the nose. Pretty interesting, Betsy Coleman. And this one here, for the longest time I gave up looking, then all of a sudden I started seeing them. Now I cannot stop seeing them. Got a chip in the hair. You know, I thought that there'd be something down towards the bottom or in the Russian language, maybe. But no, I just dominantly see it in the hair. Just seems to be the spot. And just like anything else, that one chip, it's gonna stay there until it breaks out. And you're gonna get thousands of coins that are the same exact or worse, because as it loosens and it'll get bigger and it'll shift, it will move. Yeah, it's quite interesting. You have a big cud there then. Last one on that one. Then, last but not least, another one that I looked and looked and looked for a very long time, and really never seen anything up until maybe in the last year. I start seeing some cuds or chips, or however you want to call it, mostly down here in the arm and right around here. And now I can't stop seeing them. So I think what it is a run. Maybe they're on their final run of it. I don't know why this one's here then. Looks pretty good. Did I miss something? Sometimes they're small. They're typically in the same spot over and over and over again. I don't know. Maybe I accidentally put that in a pile. I don't know. It's hard to say. I went through 2 boxes, so... Oh, there, right there in the corner. It's quite possible. Get one mix up. See the cracking down here along the bottom. Get a little cracking over here by the E. A dirty example here, but one on the wrist. Right there above the E. Right there by the S. Oh, by the S, almost touching the S. See what I mean by progression? I don't know where that went. Yeah, see, pretty close to the S. That one's damn close on touching it. Yeah. So the chances are out of the same batch. So Bing quarters. That was it for the quarters. It was fun. I did happen to pick up some dollar coins. I got a bunch of presidential P United States Mint. I got 6 of these, all different. William McKinney. I got Theodore Roosevelt. Ronald Reagan. Chester B. Arthur. That's the only D I think I have. And then Warren G. Harding and Grover Cleveland, his second term. And then don't know where that one. James Madison, Andrew Jackson, Martin Van Buren, John Taylor, John Adams, and James K. Polk. I dropped one, but I'm too lazy to look for it. Yeah, I don't know what I'll do with them. I've got them before, held on to them, and needed money and went and spent them. Well, took them back to the bank. But that's the first time I got these ones from the bank. Same lady that got me the 2 boxes of quarters. I was chit-chatting, and she goes, "Oh, I got $450 worth of dollar coins." Because I asked her about how hard it would be for her to get me a box of dollar coins, because, you know, it's been a while. So, you know, I wasn't going to say no. So I grabbed them, and now I don't know what to do with them. I'll probably hold on to these ones, definitely. These ones here come and go. I've had them before. I should put an initial on it somewhere and see if I wind up getting it again. But I'm just not quite sure what I'll do with them. Probably take them back to the bank unless I know somebody that's looking for them. Definitely, it's very hard to ship them. I mean, it'll cost a pretty penny to have them shipped. So, really hate to ship them because it's not really feasible. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll take them to the coin show or trade them in on something that I need from another dealer or something. So if you like what you see, please give it a thumbs up. And as always, thank you and have a grateful day.